speaker to be coming. So just having some difficulty in arranging a laptop, so he should be here any minute. Just 5 minutes more. Thank you. So before we begin with the session, a few announcements that I'd like to make. Everybody has their schedule? Great. Okay, so we have a conference group picture, group photo that's going to take place. You might have seen the swimming pool. I'm sure everybody did. I have no doubts on that. So, so we're going to have a group picture. Please don't miss it, because you would want people to know that you came for the conference, okay, especially your sponsors. So make sure that you're there down at time for the group picture, or you will not be included. And another thing, we have a STC booth, so in case if you have any, if you want to become a member or you have any kind of questions regarding the STC, feel free to drop in at the booth, and Rajdeep or anyone, Manisha or anyone, whoever is related to STC will be available over there. Another important thing, we will be having our volunteers recognition. That will take place at 7 o'clock in the evening. Don't miss that. And okay, so to get started with our today, I would like to call upon Rajeeb Borkadaki. He will be talking about documentation trends. He comes from Avaya, India, and so I'll just let him take over. Thank you.
So STC hasn't forced me to tell that anything is in a trend. All right. So whatever opinions I'm going to, display here, it's all my personal. Right? So good morning, all. How are you all doing today? Yeah. Sorry for the delay. As you said, these podiums were not made for laptops and all, right? So the world has moved. These are not yet evolved. So that's the focus of the event that we are having, STC, right? So this being the first session of this event, I would like to welcome you again to the 16th STC Annual Conference. So does anyone remember the theme of this STC conference? Yes, customer focus. So this has to go, right? All right. So when we are talking about customer focus, do you know who are the customers today? How do the customers look like? You need to know your customers well, right, before you write for them? Or do anything at all for them? So if I send you for a blood test now, how many of you will have some of these elements in your reports? All of us? So that's your user, right? That's all of us. Your customers are, if you have to look deep inside you, you'll get a point that know what your customers are looking from you, right? So that becomes easier for you to address their concerns as well. All right? So if we have to satisfy the customers with these elements, then what are we supposed to do? So here is my strategy. How many doc managers are here? Do you have any doc managers here? Okay. How many technical writers are here? Almost all. Do you have any professional from the learning field or anyone from any other field? Okay. So as a doc manager, you will try to inspire your technical writers to whatever I'm going to put as strategy. You'll try to inspire them to follow those strategies. And the technical writers, if you agree to these strategies, you'll try to follow them in your daily practice, right? So if you have to really impress your customers, all you have to do is first get convinced about what you're doing, right? That is all about being enthusiastic. No matter whatever you do, all trends has to come in being only if you are innovative. Did you travel by SpiceJet latest? Anyone travel by SpiceJet? No. So when I was traveling, I'm from Pune, I was traveling by SpiceJet, and their theme for the magazine this time is trends. And the forefront of it is, the first paragraph starts as, with some new initiatives, SpiceJet is going to become the best airlines in India. So trend means if you have to do something really new, if you have to innovate, you have to be really creative. You have to do something new that your competitors are not yet doing, right? Second, you have to enhance your customer experience. They want to be delighted, but at the same time, you have to enhance your skills then only you can enhance your customer experience. With me so far? So, I'll talk to, in my session, I'll try to cover some of the trends that are going to affect our lives. You may agree to some of the trends, you may not agree, and at the end of the session, we'll see why you didn't agree, right? But at the same time, I would like to reiterate that this is an interactive session, because each of the trends that I'm going to bring out here will deserve at least one session. So it will not be possible for me, in the interest of time, that I talk more than 2 minutes in each of the trends. But if you have any concern, any issues, or any comments on any of the trends, please raise your hand and we'll talk, okay? So, why are trends important? Why do you think that the trends important? Does it give you something? Some idea? Okay. Pardon? Yeah, they were dying out because they were not looking at the trends, right? The user have moved on, they didn't move on. That's why they were the market leaders till recently. Now they are almost nowhere, right? So that is the importance of trends. If you are not looking out, if you are just too secured, like BlackBerry, Nokia, why they became famous? At one point of time, they set some trends. But if you are a trendsetter, you have to keep your momentum. You have to keep on churning out new trends to be a market leader. Right? If you fail to do so, someone else is already creating trends, they are much better than yours. Right? Coming to talk about documentation, and I would like to take your opinion on what drives documentation trends. Do you have any idea? That we are talking about trends, particularly here about documentation trends. But do realize what are the factors that are responsible for creating documentation trends? Pardon? Changing user habits. Anyone else? Okay. New technologies. Okay. Customer requirements. Okay. Okay. Devices. So maybe it's technology. Okay. So this is what, if I have to summarize what you have said, this technology, as some of you have said, because the technology is evolving almost each moment, every day, that is also going to have a say in how you are writing documentation to suit that technology. Second, writing delivery. Because you are writing in particular format, you have to be also concerned about whether it is going to be customer focused or not. Whether the customer, whatever device, whatever technology they are using, are they really going to be, making sense of whatever they are accessing. Second, that is a theme of STC's conference this time. The world is moving to bring delight to the customer. That is at the center stage. Whatever you do, new technologies, new document, new initiatives, whatever you do, unless your customers are satisfied, nothing is going to make sense. At the end of the day, if your customers are not satisfied, you are not going to get satisfaction. Even if you get a 6-digit salary at the end of the month, if you got a mail that my customers are not happy, I'm not going to be happy, right? All right. So now we'll see, to make your customers happy, what are the trends that are there, what we can adapt to, right? We'll choose. I won't spend much time talking about what are the technological changes we are having, but primarily the biggest change that has happened in recent times is this one. So can anyone tell me why this is a challenge for us? We are getting lots of new devices, right? With different screen resolutions, different screen types. Pardon? Printed documentation. Yeah, that is one. But more than that, it's about, the challenge is about, getting your content fitted into different kind of devices, right? At the same time, with the launch of Android 5.1, which was around 6 months back, they are launching apps that will be context aware, as in, you have supposed, before leaving from your office, you logged into Make My Trip to make some bookings. And while going home, you just access the same application on your mobile. You don't have to start right from beginning. You'll just start from where you left, right? Accordingly, your document also has to help the user book the ticket from that point onwards, right? So maybe your context sensitive help can help in that context, right? All right. So I'm moving on to customer experience because technology, you and you know what are the changes we're having. So what is the biggest challenge in customer experience now? And how you're going to adapt to the new trends? More visual. We'll come back to later. So these are some of the trends that I have captured which are going to address the customer experience management, right? It's all about managing your customers nowadays. Because the way customers find information has changed. People and the customers do not have the patience. Why? Because the next generation is right from, they take birth, they are handling video devices, right? Rich multimedia content. So what is happening? They are losing the focus, losing the patience to read a long document, long PDF, right? That's why. And at the same time, what does adaptive content mean? Adaptive content means it is the content which is structured, content which can adapt to your devices, right? So if you have a smaller device, the graphic will be like this, the content will be like this. If you have a bigger, if you have an iPad, the device will display your content like that, right? So it adapts to the capabilities of the device. That is what adaptive content is. Content on demand. Give the customer only what they demand, right? Don't take them through page 1. Along with the involvement of customer, what has also happened, the customers do not read page 1 to page end. What they do is mostly they navigate from link to link, right? So for them, every page is page number 1. So when you write content, you have to also be mindful about that fact. Each page first has to look like your first page, right? And just give the content as much they want. Do not give anything less, do not give anything more, right? Visual content, as you said, why is visual content so important now?
It saves time, as you said.
Mm-hmm.
It saves time rather than reading.
Yeah, because suppose this one I picked because myself I have struggled to explain to people how to tie, how to fit a tie, right? So with some graphical imagery, actually my job became easier. So when you go back to creating graphical content, or suppose for example you are creating some keywords, you can actually look at this kind of simple designs, and then you will be able to relate to your complex designs as well, right? We start thinking complicated stuff right from beginning. That's why sometimes our designs actually fail. Everything has to start from basics. Then only you'll be able to get good insights. All right? Yep. Do you think video is going to be in there? So all of you must have attended Joe's session, right? So he also deliberated on video. Like I said, all kids are now growing up having access to videos rather than print media. So that means I have 10 minutes more. You're sticking to the schedule despite starting late. Okay. So that's what. So I guess video is all customers are now wanting video, right? But do you actually have the capability to provide video documentation? Maybe what you can do is you can capture your complex procedures in videos, and you can also include interactive, intuitive graphics as well. What happens then? Your documentation becomes really engaging, and that's what your goal is, right? Your customers should be engaged, right? As per industry statistics, from a recent survey, 11% of the companies are moving to video documentation. So that's a good news. Right? And how many of you have already looked at YouTube for some of the videos? If you have to change your battery on a mobile, you have to change something, right? So videos is one of the biggest trends that we are going to address in some time now. Now, yeah. So do you think? Or rather, let me ask you, what kind of document would you like to target for video? Right. So that leaves aside your installation document. So you can, suppose for example, if it's not a mobile content, mobile device or something, for those of you who are working in really technological companies, right, which has a great setup, deployment and all, where the installation itself runs for 2-3 days together, sometimes it might not be possible to capture all of that information into video, right? So that way your printed documents or your installation guides and all in PDF format will still survive. But what will change is the device that your field engineers are going to access. They might not carry any hard copies anymore, right? What they might carry is they might carry an iPhone, they might carry an iPad, right? So what you'll have to do is when you are writing content, your content has to be adapted to those devices, right? Okay. So I'm moving on to writing and delivery. Because you are constantly thinking about how you will write, how you will deliver, there are some of the trends that has come into being, right? Because Joe also mentioned about the EPUBs, although it isn't picked up, but all of us mostly use our content in a mobile device or video device or our laptop, right? So that is one of the trends that has come into being. Next, user-generated content. Can anyone tell me what is user-generated content? Anyone else? Okay. Pardon? Right. So what? Pardon? Community forums. So one of the reasons why user-generated content has come into being is sometimes some of the really highly technical products are in the market for more than 15 years, 10 years, 25 years, right? So some of your users are much more experienced in handling those products than you, who might have joined the company 2 years back. So you can always leverage the experience of your customers. So what you do, you offer them blogs, right? They can also comment on the blogs. You offer them content that can be rateable, right? So whatever you have put up, your users can come and provide rating. So what are the benefits of providing user-generated content? Can anyone tell me? There is a rise in 40% customer improvement, customer satisfaction improvement, right? 17% has been improvement in documentation quality, all right? Next trend, people are no more searching Google. What they do, they go to social media, right? Why? Because social media has their friends. Whatever they recommend, it has a personal touch. So sometimes you might also leverage on social media to provide your documentation. Minimal content. Suppose we are, Avaya being a telephone company, in the next generation phones they have provided this much of a screen and your content has to fit in there. Do you think all of TOC and all the chapters will fit in there? The user will be able to see only this much. So even the space has been narrowed now, right? So all you have to do is you have to be really thinking about each and every word that you write and each and every word that is going to the customer. That's why you have to really think about minimalism. You can also leverage on the tooltip that is there in the software itself, right? On tools I won't spend much time, but everyone knows we are moving to single sourcing. And the benefits of moving to single sourcing are massive. So what are some of the benefits? It helps in reducing localization cost as well. Why? Because the content can be reused. Once localized, it can be reused many times. And why is localization important? Do you know what is the population of English-speaking people in the world? Okay, so you'll be surprised to know it's only 6% people in the world who can speak English. right? That leaves out around 94% people. If you want your product and documentation to reach those 94% people, your product documentation has to be localized, and that's where this is going to really help. At the same time, if you are going to give on-demand content, as in content that is on demand by the user, nothing more, nothing less, your structured content will really help, right? Next, we now work in a collaborative environment. Like I am giving the presentation after taking input from you. There are hundreds of writers who are writing only one page of content, right? So this is one of the trends that is coming. Okay, now those are the trends. Now I would like to spend some time in talking about what are the limitations in adapting to trends. Can anyone tell me what this device is? Pager. So do anyone see it now? Almost 10 years back, when pagers were in business, they had 60 million customers worldwide. See it now, just 10 years, no one knows pager, right? So when you are adapting to trends, you also have to see the durability and the life of a trend, right? That for that you have to also have some visionary skills. When adapting to trends, the vision of your organization is really, really important. Whether the vision of the organization also is aligned to your customer focus or not, right? If you are a mobile company, there is no point adapting to some trends from the engineering company, right? It has to match with the vision of the organization. Then only adapting to some of the trends might, make sense. All right? Infrastructure. Sometimes you might have to push your doc manager or your senior manager or the director to adapt to some of the trends, because you have attended STC seminars so many times. You have spoken to people, you have read articles on the net. But they are not convinced, right? So what you're supposed to do, you have to keep on pestering them, right, with more collateral and all. You have to convince them. At the same time, as opposite to those kind of bureaucratic organizations, what you have is responsive organization. I go to my director and he will say, oh Rajiv, what a brilliant idea. Let's adapt to that, right? So there are different two kinds of organization that you have to really deal with, and you have to have your strategy in place, all right? Second is budget. Even if you have the idea in mind, organization is giving in, but they do not have the budget. So sometimes it has to wait till it makes sense to the organization to spend that much money on adapting to a trend. Third, although you have the money and the vision and the agreement to adapt to certain trends, do you actually, as a tech writer, as a publisher, as a doc manager, do you really have the trend, do you have the skill to implement that kind of trend, right? So all you have to do is you have to develop your skill set at the same time. So these are some of the constraints. What are next steps now? Now that you have realized there are certain trends in the market and there are some challenges in adapting to them, what will be your challenges now? Anyone? No one? Okay. So I'll take the lead. So here what I'm trying to show is how documentation has evolved from 1995 to today, right? So how many of you know Makaran Pandit? So this is where he started, 1995 around, 94 he started. How he prepared his content? He used to write with his own hands, go to a DTP operator and get them printed, right? There was no web help at the time. At the same time, there was a guide called user guide. It used to contain install procedures, administration procedures, and also sometimes using procedures, right? Moving on, what happened in 2005? There came content strategy and data. With it came different types of deliverables, right? Segregating content according to the type. At the same time, internet was accessible to all. People came up with websites. So what technical writers did was use that platform to produce their content, present their content as well. Now we are almost going to be in 2015. What are your challenges now? A lot of things have changed. As mentioned, video is one of the most important documentation trends. At the same time, for some of the deliverables, you might also have to provide audio documentation, right? At the same time, there's a lot of focus on designing your content. Like I mentioned in my earlier slides, your content has to really fit into the limited screen space. That's why more than writing, almost 60% of your focus has to be put in designing your content. Your content also has to be available on the cloud, right? Many of your people are also moving to HTML5. Why? Because it gives you the ability to use interactive graphics like scalable vector graphics. It also helps you have interactive feedback at the same time. What is the aim of that? Is engages your customers more as compared to a printed documentation. People are writing more and more APIs now. So why are they writing more and more APIs? Because the technology has changed. And as a user, we are getting dumber and dumber day by day, right? Whatever laptop or mobile device we buy, all we want is a simple interface. But the technology at the background has really changed. So that's why you need to write APIs to bridge that gap. All right? So that's why you need to help the developers in writing API documentation as well. At the same time, because companies are reducing their budget and there is another platform called open source, you can just readily make it available to yourself and start using. That's why people are also moving to open source, right? Okay, so how will you adapt to all of this if you have to survive in tomorrow's world? Sometimes, as I mentioned, your organization might not have the budget. Will that stop you from learning? Yes, that is the exact word. So your organization might or might not have the budget for it, but you have to be future ready. All right? So for that, there are many resources nowadays. You just go to the net, you will get many free trainings. STC also has so many webinars, right? Your company or some other companies are also having webinars to train you on different kind of trends that are going to be in place, right? So make use of that. Be future ready. Be always current. That is the only way how you can be current to your organization and also the market, right? Because not for your entire life you are going to stick to your same organization. Tomorrow that organization might do a different business or might go bankrupt. Next moment you have to look for jobs, right? So this is really the need of the hour. If you have to be customer focused, you really have to be current to the market. I'm almost finishing, just 2 minutes. So if we can create a focus group, with the help of that you can actually get exposed to some of the trainings on how to develop this kind of skill set. So if we propose for a focus group, how many of you will be really interested in joining that? Wow, that's almost 60% of the audience here. So I have been always already talking to our STC staff, as in Rajdeep and Manisha and all. So they have encouraged me to go ahead and create a focus group for STC as well. We'll be really looking on documentation trends and getting future ready. So when it gets into being, I'll get back to you. At the same time, whenever you have some ideas, you can always get back to me. That is my email ID. All right? Yeah. Right. 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 Thank you. So some of the times actually whatever ideas we had implanted there, it's actually, people are leveraging on the same ideas. For example, DITA was there 2005 also, but DITA now, it is 2.3, has evolved a lot, right? Just to cater to your, designing. So the ideas are all the same. Customer was still in the focus that time also, but maybe your means were not the same, right? If you really have to be customer focused, you have to now evolve with your technology, with your ideas and your means as well to capture your customers as well. So that is the theme of 21st century. Engage your customers. Be creative, be innovative. All right? So with that, I would like to say a big thanks to all of you for giving me your time. Let's get future ready. Thank you so much. Thanks, Minnie.